Am I bugging or is there are alarming rates of like sneaky ass rates of lynchings happening? There was one in North Carolina. There was one, I believe, in like upstate New York. There's one in Colorado. Am I bugging or did the race war already start? Because to me, to see all this shit happening and for every single situation to be a self infliction, let me just say this. I don't know no black or brown person that's going to randomly walk into the woods, even if their mind isn't in the right place and they feel like I want to myself. I don't know anybody that is thinking, let me go climb on a tree and jump off and snap my neck. That is historically known to be something that someone of the race will do. That's I don't believe it. I don't give a damn what the family told you because they are known to pay families large increments of monies to be quiet. I don't know if that's the case here, but allegedly that's something that has been happening throughout time. I don't think it's a coincidence that all of these things are happening literally this close together. This feels like there is a actual war happening, just quietly picking up steam and snowballing. Am I tripping? Am I the only one? Because I know I'm not the only one.
It just needs to be said very clearly that 4 black men hanging from trees in 1 week is not a coincidence. It's not an accident. It is not an incident. The fact that all 4 cases have said no foul play and then just close the cases, like at this point, all marginalized communities need to round the wagons. Like, do not go out alone. Do not go running alone. Do not go shopping alone. Like, some people are like, stop just like, don't make conspiracy theories or stop being alarmist, but the alarms already rang. Like, the alarms rung. That is past tense. We are all in it now. From ICE raids to police brutality to legislation, birthright citizenship is now just been blown up. This is the reality. So instead of tensing up, take a deep breath, relax your jaw, let your eyes feel clear, let your brain relax your forehead, and look clearly at what you're doing for your community. What is your community? How do you build it if you don't have it? Because this is unspeakable, but it's going to be spoken again and again and again. It's unspeakable, but this is the language that is now being communicated. And we are 6 months in, so do what you need to do to keep each other safe.
Please do not scroll, as I'm about to share with you a very disgusting pattern. Jonah Lubrin, Orlando, Florida, found nearly naked and hanging from a tree, ruled a suicide. Denoris Richardson, Colbert County, Alabama, found hanging from a tree, ruled a suicide. Lennon Lacey, Bladenboro, North Carolina, found hanging from a tree, ruled a suicide. Robert Fuller and Malcolm Harsh, both found dead in the state of California, hanging from trees, and ruled a suicide. And now most recently, Earl Smith, Albany, New York, found hanging from a tree and ruled a suicide. Those 6 names that I just listed make up only a very small fraction of the amount of black men, women, and children that have gone missing over the decade since the 50s out of all the methods of suicide, with the most common being a self-inflicting gun wound. You're telling me that it's only ever black people that decide to take their own life using rope outside? I will never believe that. The victims' families will never believe that. The black community will never believe that. And as the police continue to play in our face for years to come, as the most ignorant of people will continue to call us victims and say we're playing victim, I hope that this message gets out to the right people to recognize that this shit is real. Modern day lynchings are very real, and they have no problem continuing to rule it a suicide when these literal people, these human beings, are being found hanging 10 feet off the fucking ground with zero news coverage. And let me be clear before I make the following statement. I do not wish this on anybody. That being said, let it be one white man or one white woman found hanging from a tree, that amount of attention and news coverage would surpass Gabby Petito. For this upcoming 4th of July weekend, people, everyone, please be safe. Keep in contact with your family members, your friends, your circles. Keep them updated with what you do throughout the weekend, because you never know what you might end up in. Frankly, again, you don't know what people are capable of. Be safe. Have a good weekend.
There was another man found hanging from a tree in Aurora, Colorado. And if you don't know this, please share this news, especially if you're from the Hispanic community, because he was a young Hispanic male. And I cannot believe that lynching is still alive in 2025 and is very much alive. There was another case in Albany, New York. His name was Earl Smith. He was a black man and he was 58 years of age. He was also found hanging from a tree. And, the KKK and the white supremacy group, they're very active right now. And I'm not going to argue with this with anyone because there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. They have been emboldened by this racist administration, by Trump's racist administration, and they have no fear of law at the moment. They're just doing whatever they want because they feel emboldened by Donald Trump. They feel like they have the power, and I feel like we're getting fatigued, and we should not let this happen. They want to divide us. They want to create war between, smaller communities so that we don't focus on the bigger problem, which is this racist administration and what they're doing. So if you're from the Hispanic community, I need you to share this news because we all need to be aware. We all need to be informed.
Since the media isn't covering this for some weird reason, I'm going to cover it and spread the word. So there was a black man found hanging from a tree in New York. Everybody is super skeptical of the police because they were really quick to kind of brush this under the rug, say, oh, this wasn't a lynching. We did an investigation and we think that this was self-unaliving, which the family members don't believe. They're not buying that. They're extremely skeptical of the whole situation and especially how the police are handling it because they're trying to keep it on the hush-hush. Did you hear about this? No, I didn't either.
I can't even lie to y'all. I'm still upset. I'm still enraged, right? But to quote the late, great James Baldwin, to be conscious in this country is to be in a constant state of rage. And that's really, really been my experience. Hold up. I'm so mad that Earl Smith, the 58-year-old black man, was found hanging from a fucking tree in Albany, New York, right? The police immediately passed it off as a suicide. Why did they do that? Because their hands were probably still wet from the nigga's blood. Let's talk about it. Anyway, I was already mad about that. Before the autopsy came out and said that he was gone before he was ever in the fucking tree, I already knew it was some fuck shit afloat, right? Okay, cool. I mean, it's not cool. It's actually very sad, but whatever. Autopsy comes out, confirms what we already knew. That he didn't put himself in that tree. And that he was gone before he even was in the motherfucking tree. Then other people are talking about other cases of black and POC people being found hanging from trees. When I first heard the Earl Smith case, my mind immediately was just like, racism thrives in small, close-knit communities, right? Racism is able to be its most evil and heinous natural self in communities where the main racist motherfucker is the sheriff and where his racist brother is the DA. And where his racist brother-in-law is the judge. You know what I mean? About close-knit. The racism, it all runs in the blood. So in a small-knit community where your brother, your uncle, and your damn granddaddy are all prominent members in law enforcement or the government, it's easier to get away with fuck shit, right? And because, especially in those close-knit communities, the police, the law enforcement are not there to serve us. They're there to cover their own tracks and get away with their own evil, heinous, soulless actions. We really need some type of network, community, researchers, surveillors, whatever the fuck you want to call them, I don't know. But they just keep tabs on the crime reports in small towns. Because I swear to God, if we really started looking closely, we would see more. Now, mind you, I don't really know about the infrastructure. In the small racist community, I fucking doubt they put all their public records online. I doubt they put their public records online. Maybe they do. Maybe I'll be surprised. I don't fucking know. But even if it takes people actually on the ground in the communities, I don't know. But racism is able to thrive in small communities because of what they're doing right now, or what they're trying to do with Earl Smith, but it's not going down like they planned. Because attention got on it. They wanted to just cover it up because that is what happens. That is what happens when they kill a black person out of hatred and racism. They cover it up. It's an unaliving. It was their own fault. It was just that and a motherfucking third. And it's always just lies. It's just lies and bullshit. But they're able to get away with it because they're in those close communities where they control the narrative, where if they say a black man was found hanging from the tree in public and he did it to himself, nobody asks questions. Racism thrives in small knit communities, and that's why we need to be watching them bitches heavier. We need to be watching them bitches heavier. And at this point, the law not gonna work for us. It never has. So I can't really say what I want to say on here. I can't say what I really want to say on here because this is a public app at the end of the day. But the laws were never meant to protect us. Matter of fact, the laws were actually enacted to keep us in a place of bondage and enslavement and disempowerment. That's historical fact. If you don't fucking know that, then you're still being programmed, okay? So with that being said, I really feel like we need to stop looking to the law. First of all, the law is not a gauge of morality. Like, just because some shit is legal or illegal, that doesn't mean that it's evil or it's bad. The law don't mean fucking shit. Slavery was legal. What the fuck? Stop playing with me. We need to stop depending on the law because the law is not here to help us. We literally need to build our own networks, bro. Whether we can convert the gangs, brotherly love overcomes our depression, community revolution, progress, growth, and development, whether we can convert them back to their original programming, which was community protection programs to protect us from the racists and the KKK and the white supremacists. Either we can get them back to their original programming, or we can just start the fuck over with something new and completely from the ground up. I don't know, but something has to give because, again, racism survives in small, close-knit communities, and there's a lot of those motherfuckers in this country. I live in Alabama. Again, I don't fucking know if these small cities even have, like, their public police records and shit, like, online. I'm finna go find out. But if they do, I'm probably finna be scared about what I find. Not even scared in, like, no pussy way, you know what I mean? Just scared in, like, that's gonna fuck me up. And I'm already fucked up, you feel me? But speaking of which, Homewood police just murdered Jabari Latrell Peoples, 18-year-old security guard. He was in his car. They just do what they did, just murdered him. Didn't ask questions, just murdered him. And I told y'all a month ago that they just gave the police in my state complete immunity. So it's just much of the same. You know, they've been killing black people and then nothing ever happened to them. But now it's officially in the books, immunity, full immunity. We need to stop depending on the law to look out for us because the law was never designed to look out for us. I'm very upset. R.I.P. Earl Smith. I just can't.
He was 58, a father, a grandfather, a man who had just been baptized. And on the morning of June 11th of 2025, his body was found hanging from a tree in Albany, New York. Public lynchings used to be community events in this country. People brought their children, smiled for photos, took pieces of the victim's body home like souvenirs, and we're just supposed to swallow that and move on? No, not this time. Not Earl Smith. And before his family could even process what happened, before a single piece of footage was even reviewed, the police said there's no foul play. It looks like that line, that's the rope now. Sterile, passive, clean. But the message is the same. Don't ask, don't push. Just move along. But let me tell you why we can't move along.
6 men, 6 hangings, all ruled suicides. But if you believe that, you haven't been paying attention. Black and brown men are being found hanging from trees, balconies, and in public parks. Over just the past few months, 6 deaths, all ruled suicide, have left families, neighbors, and entire communities demanding answers. This isn't new. This is history repeating itself in silence. From Georgia to New York to Colorado, these cases are being closed without real investigation. Earl Smith, a grandfather who had just got baptized, Javion McGee, a 21-year-old found seated in front of a tree, Mom Crouch, a Cambodian man found hanging in a public park. And in every case, they said no foul play. That's why I created Buried, Hanging in the Balance. It's a free guide for Substack subscribers because these stories deserve to be told, not erased. Subscribe now. Help me get to 1,000. I'm at 35 so far, and I'm just getting started. And follow Smart Brown Girl 121 for truth.